Okay, so in this video I will be covering how to use the Extrude and Revolve features in Inventor. And so if you go up to the top ribbon right here in the corner, there is a feature called Extrude, and the shortcut for that is just E on the keyboard. And once we select that, we can now choose a profile for extrusion. And in this case, a profile is just any close to the shape. And so we can select these two squares right here, but we can't select this open circle. We can select by clicking on it, or we can hold Control and then click on it again to deselect. And so what this extrusion is doing is it's taking this 2D shape, this square, and it's stretching it out in a straight line. And so that creates this rectangular prism. And we can change the distance that it extrudes by, so we can do 10 inches, 5 inches. If we type in the units, Inventor will understand, and so that's 5 centimeters. So we'll go with 5 inches for now. You can flip the direction that it extrudes out into. You can have it extrude in both directions by an equal amount, and so this is still a total length of 5 inches. Or you can have it go in both directions, but a different distance for each direction. So this is 5 inches this way, 1 inch that way. And we'll go with this extrusion for now. We can now create a new 2D sketch on that plane. And let's just create a circle. And as you can see, this block right here is obstructing the view right now, and so we can't actually see the sketch that we're working on. When that happens, just right click and then choose Slice Graphics, and that will make it so that you can see the plane that you're working on. We can extrude this circle out too, and there was only one 2D shape just now, and so it automatically chose that. And because there are now 3D objects that it can interact with, the extrusion now has a few more options. So we can do through all, and then that will go through any solid object that it comes in contact with. Or it can do to, and when you select that, you can choose the plane that it goes up to. You can do to next, and that will make it so that the extrusion goes up to the next object that it finds. Down here, you also have Boolean options. And so right now, we're creating a new solid by extruding it out. But you can also cut away from a solid. And so that second option right there is that. And so you can see that now it is creating a hole instead of creating a cylinder. And let's just reorient this. You also have the intersect option. And what that is doing is it's just keeping the part that is left over, that is being overlapped between the extrusion and the surrounding solids. Down here in the advanced properties, you also have the options for a taper. And so if you type in like 5, you can see that it gets wider at the base. And type in something like 10 and it'll get wider still. If you want it to get narrower, you can do like -10. And you can see that it is now getting narrower down to a point. You probably won't be using this option very often, but it is there if and when you need it. Okay, and so yeah, that is all there is to extrusions. You can create new solids, you can cut away from solids. Those are the main uses probably. And, yeah. So next I will cover the Revolve feature, which is right next to the extrusion on the top ribbon. And so once we select that, we have to choose a 2D profile again, like the extrusion. And so let's select this half circle, and then we have to choose a line as the axis. And so if we choose that line, we get a sphere. And so what this is doing is it takes that half circle profile, and then it revolves it around a circular path. The extrusion, on the other hand, used a linear path. And so because we're working with circles, instead of units like centimeters and inches, we're going to be using degrees. And so with 180, we get that half sphere. With 90, we get that quarter. We get a quarter sphere. like with the extrusion, we have all the options with directions and revolving it symmetrically or asymmetrically. Last time with the extrusion, we extruded out a cylinder from a circle. We extruded a cylinder out of a circular profile, but we can also create a cylinder using a rectangular profile. And we do that by selecting that rectangular profile and then choosing one of its sides as the axis. And there we go, we get that cylinder. Similarly, if we choose the rectangular profile and then choose a line outside of it as the axis, then we get a cylinder with a hole in it. And I think this really helps visualize what the revolve is actually doing. This rectangle takes that circular path around the axis, but because this side never actually touches the axis, we get a hole in the middle. And let's just really quickly create that cylinder again. And like with the extrusion before, you get all the options for Booleans. And so you can cut away, you can do the intersect, and likewise. And so yeah, revolve is really the same thing as an extrusion, except it's using a circular path. And if you're confused about like actual use cases for this, in general, you would use the revolve with anything that has radial symmetry. And yeah, hopefully you learned something with this video, and thank you for watching.